Fosia Ode. Happy Sunday. How is your Sunday going? Are you able to do something for yourself, something relaxing and taking care of yourself? Well, if you have not, this is a reminder to do something for yourself, to take care of yourself, because it's Sunday. You've done a lot during the week, and do something to prepare for the week ahead. Okay? All right. So today I want to talk about my journey to becoming a mental health counselor. So this is for anyone who is considering entering into the mental health field, into counseling, into psychology, into therapy. This will give you some sort of information about maybe the different pathways and also my path to entering into the field. All right. So like I stated before, I am a licensed mental health counselor. So there are many kind of professional degrees or professional licensing out there. You will hear some people say they are social workers, so either a licensed social worker, a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed master social worker, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a marriage and family therapist. So there are different pathways to entering into therapy or psychotherapy. My sorry about that. My pathway is going through mental health counseling route. So I started my degree with a bachelor's degree in psychology. So I did a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in women's studies. So that was, I would say, the introduction to psychology, but that wasn't the original plan. The original plan, like many immigrants who come to this country, my original plan was to be a nurse. So everybody was telling me, nursing is a great field. You're gonna make a lot of money, enter into the field and stuff like that. So I got into nursing, got into a nursing program. Unfortunately, the program that I went into, they made it really difficult for students to succeed. So I failed one of my first nursing classes, and I was like, this is not me. I have never failed a class. And at the same time, I had a lot of things going on in my family. So I was like, okay, let me take kind of a break or a semester break, and then I would see if I want to get back into nursing, if I want to go back into it. Then while on the break, I was contemplating, what am I going to do? Do I still continue to take classes? Do I not take classes? And then I was like, you know what? I took one psychology class, Introduction to Psychology, and I said, oh, I really liked psychology. I enjoyed psychology. So let me take more psychology classes, and then when I'm ready, I will get back into nursing, or when I'm ready, I will transfer out of the school that I was at, which a lot of nursing students were doing at the time because the school made it difficult for students to succeed. A lot of students were transferring out of the school to go to a different nursing school. So I took all those psychology classes, and I realized, you know what? I really enjoy these classes. I enjoy kind of figuring people out, how people think, how people behave. But bachelor's in psychology is really an introduction. So I was like, let me look into this. Do people do this to as a profession? Because I'm coming from Ghana, and in Ghana we don't really talk a lot about being a psychologist, being a mental health counselor, all of those things. Most of the time you either have to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a nurse, all those things. Psychology, mental health counseling, that wasn't part of it. So I looked into it, and I saw that there are many career options with psychology and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. So I got my bachelor's in psychology. Most of psychotherapy work, um, the entry degree is a master's degree. So some to get licensed, you have to have a master's degree, and each state have their own requirements. So if you're thinking of entering into the field, you have to check your state board and the requirement that they have for you to be licensed. But the minimum degree that one has to have to be licensed is a master's degree. So I look into the different options available, and then there was masters in counseling psychology, I think, masters in social work, masters in family and marriage therapy, and then mental health counseling. So I settled on mental health counseling because it was more true to what I want to do, more about preventative, more about like a holistic approach to therapy. Also, really getting into therapy, teaching about therapy, the person, relationships, education, and all of that. So I got into, fortunately for me, all the programs that I applied to, I was accepted into all those programs. So I had to choose, and so I chose the school that I went to, and then it was a 2-year program, and then there is an internship component to it. The last year, together you have to complete. And it's required by the state. You have to complete 600 hours internship of supervised internship hours. So those hours include providing counseling, either individual counseling, group counseling, couples therapy, so providing those services, and then you'll be supervised by somebody who is licensed. So that's a requirement. Most of the classes are also introduction classes. So introduction to counseling theories and interventions, foundations, multicultural, and all those aspects. So after the 2 year, it was a 2 years full-time program. Some people may attend it part-time, so that could take a little bit of time. But the program that I attended was a full year, 2 years program. Um, After graduation, that's when you apply. So I graduated, and after graduation, that's when I started applying for my state license. And in order to be licensed, I was originally licensed in the state of New York. So in the state of New York, in order to be independently licensed, you have to get a limited permit, and then the limited permits would allow you to accrue hours to be independently licensed. So the supervised hours that you have to accrue to be independently licensed in New York State is 3,000 hours. So that's about 2 years full-time work, sometimes 2.5 years. It depends how people want to complete it. And also it depends on the state. Sometimes the number of hours that they would ask, but in New York State it was 3,000 hours. So for me, majority of those 3,000 hours, I was doing community-based mental health counseling, working in nonprofit. I did also some work at a jail, also working with survivors of intimate partner violence and domestic violence. And I would say majority of my work has been working with survivors of intimate partner violence and domestic violence. Somehow I gravitated towards that population. I gravitated towards working with women who have experienced some sort of abuse and stuff like that. So that's what majority of my, I would say, work accruing the hours was focused in. I also did some work with LGBTQIA youth, and also working around HIV counseling, HIV testing, and stuff like that, HIV education. I did some sort of that too. So all of that, I would say, was really a great experience to be able to work with different populations, people going through different issues, providing individual counseling, doing some group counseling, doing some community education, all of that. So I accrued my 3,000 hours, did my NBCC, NCMHCE exam. It's such a mouthful, but in New York State, that's the exam requirement to be licensed. So I did that exam, and then I was licensed. I think I was licensed in October 2018 in New York. So that was really exciting for me. And coincidentally, my getting my license somehow kind of aligned with me getting a promotion at my job. So I was promoted to being a supervisor. So I moved on from doing more one-on-one work to more working with other clinicians, supervising other clinicians in the work that they do and stuff like that. So when I got my license, I ventured into a little bit of private practice. I worked with a group in New York doing part time or fee for service private practice, so seeing clients one on one. And that was really, I would say, eye opening to see the difference between working in community based mental health and then doing private practice. As we go on, I will specifically make a video about those jobs and the differences in that. So that I learned a lot in that space. I did that for about, I would say 2 to 3 years. And then I kind of transitioned into full-time entrepreneurship or working for myself. So at the moment, I have my own practice. I have a for-profit business, and then I have a nonprofit business as well. The nonprofit, I just created a nonprofit about, it's not even been a month. So it's really new. I'm still putting my board of directors together, working on that. But so, yeah, so that was my journey. So I think it's also important if you are considering therapy to make sure that you are seeing the right professional, somebody who is licensed in the state that you are seeing them in, somebody who have the education or the educational background to support you. So there may be therapists who are licensed social workers, psychologists, clinical psychologists, psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are usually MDs who prescribe medication. They may not have the one-on-one time that a lot of therapists may have, like 45 minutes. Psychiatrists may have about 15 minutes to talk to you and then prescribe you medication, and then sometimes they would tell you to go see a therapist. So you have to know, the differences. Like I said, it's really important to see somebody credible, because you also don't want somebody to take advantage of you. And you also don't want to speak to somebody who doesn't know what they are talking about. You want to speak with somebody who knows what they are talking about, who has the educational background to support you. So, yeah, so that's my journey to being a therapist. And even though I am a therapist, I hope that if you're watching this video, this is an educational video to give you information about therapy, to educate people about the importance of mental health. So this doesn't substitute you having or forming a one-on-one relationship with a therapist. All right. Okay. So yeah, so that's the video. I hope if anybody is considering entering into the field, I hope you found this to be helpful. If you have any questions, definitely leave your questions in the comment section. Subscribe, share this video with friends, and let me know again if you have any questions. Let me know, and I will be sure to answer those questions for you. All right, then. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your week. All right.